Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode corporate filings so you don't have to. Today, we're diving into a report from LGAM Private Credit LLC. Don't worry if you've never heard of them, we'll get you up to speed. This report has some interesting details about their investments and a new distribution to investors. I know it doesn't sound that exciting, but if you're interested in where your money is going or could go, this is for you. This is an 8K report, a snapshot in time from February 27, 2025. Think of it as a quick update filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, the government agency that watches over companies to protect investors. So who is LGAM Private Credit LLC? Well, they're a company that provides credit, basically loans, to other private companies. Private companies are those that don't trade their stock on a public exchange like the New York Stock Exchange. This means you can't just go out and buy shares of the companies LGAM lends to. This type of lending is often called private credit, and it's been growing in popularity. Let's get into it. First up, the sale of equity securities. Equity is ownership, in this case, ownership in LGAM Private Credit itself. They sold something called common units. As of February 1, 2025, they sold about 324,243 of these units, raising about $6.6 million. So each unit cost around $20.26. Now, the legal stuff. These units were sold under what's called Regulation S of the Securities Act. This basically means they sold these units to investors outside the United States. There are specific rules about selling securities investments to people in the US versus selling them to people outside the US, and they followed the rules for selling them abroad. Next, something called Regulation FD disclosure. FD stands for Fair Disclosure. Basically, this is to make sure companies share important information with everyone at the same time, not just a select few. It aims to keep things fair for all investors. So what did LGAM Private Credit disclose? First, a distribution. That's like a dividend, a payment to the owners of the units. On February 27, 2025, they declared a regular distribution of $0.1562 per unit. So if you owned 1,000 units, you'd get $156.20. This was paid around March 5, 2025 to those who own the units on February 28, 2025. Now let's talk about what LGAM Private Credit actually invests in. As of January 31, 2025, they had investments in 97 different companies across 29 industries. That's a pretty diverse bunch. The total value of these investments was about $320.9 million. The vast majority, around 99.7%, was in first lien debt. This means that if the companies they lent to go bankrupt, LGAM Private Credit gets paid back first before other lenders. It's a more secure type of loan. About 99.8% of these loans had floating rates. This means the interest rate they charge goes up or down depending on overall interest rates. During January, they made new loan commitments of about $28.7 million, mostly in those first lien debt deals. Also, about 3.5% of their investments were in broadly syndicated loans. These are loans that are sold to many different investors, and LGAM primarily uses them to manage their cash. Okay, let's break down where LGAM Private Credit is putting their money by industry. The biggest chunk, 18.3%, is in software companies. Next, we have professional services at 10.3%, followed by insurance services at 8.8%, commercial services and supplies at 8.2%, and IT services at 7.9%. They also have money in healthcare, consumer services, utilities, distributors, and real estate. Here are the 10 biggest companies they've lent to based on the value of the loans. The largest is Bullhorn, Inc. and DCA Investment Holdings, LLC, each representing 2.3% of their total investments. Then MRI Software, LLC, GS Acquisition Co., Inc., Diligent Corporation, Everbridge Holdings, LLC, Avalara, Inc., ICIMS, Inc., Essential Services Holding Corporation, and ComPsych Investments Corp. Finally, let's look at the numbers. As of January 31, 2025, LGAM Private Credit estimated their net asset value, or NAV, to be about $145.7 million. Net asset value is basically what's left over if they sold all their investments and paid off all their debts. They also had about $117.6 million in debt.